Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the anything but idyllic small village of Aurelia. I am Marcus Aurelius, and this is Thea, the Awakening. And I have done some research between last episode and this one, not only from your many helpful comments in the comments section of the videos, but also on the web. And I also looked up Morena to get more information about her, and apparently she is the counterpoint to Perun, the goddess of light. So Morena is like the goddess of death, and it says in the game rebirth, although what I found on the internet didn't stipulate anything about rebirth. But it's just quite interesting. So we have a lot going on. We have these guys who will cure us if we have a curse, which we do not, but I guess it's good to have. We have an herbalist who I guess will cure us if we have more physical ailments, which we currently don't have. And we have a smithy who wants us to go figure out how to get this demon woman to fall in love with him, which I do not think we are quite ready for. So we're in a bit of a spot, I'd say. As far as available resources, wood is, of course, prevalent. The most important things that we could get, well, there's bone up here. That would be useful. And regular leather, though what we really need is scaled leather, which we found over here. So we have scaled leather over here, and we were doing our best to gather it, but it is quite far from the village. We also picked up some straw, though we'd really like some wicker, which is over here, but that's a bit far away. So right now we're kind of screwed over when it comes to resources. I think they might be overdoing it a bit on the wood. It's just me. I'd rather there'd be more variety of resources. But okay. Let's get started. And someone asked me in the comments to use more key commands, but I'm not a big fan of key commands. I know sometimes they're more efficient, they're faster, but you have to memorize them, and also it causes me to have to clickety-clack on my keyboard when I'm more of a mouse guy, honestly. So we are the village of Aurelia, and let's take a look at some things. Because we can also build things. So we could build, for example, a pasture. And the cool thing about building things is it influences people to come to your village. And depending on the materials that you use to build things, you could cause other races to come to your village. Like, for example, if you build your palisade or other village structures out of elven wood, it will encourage elves to join your village. And there are other materials like obsidian and such that if you build your structures out of them, it will encourage other beings to come live with you, such as goblins, orcs, dwarves, and I believe demons. So it's definitely worth thinking about in the near future as to what items we would like to build our structures out of. And of course, you can always destroy a structure and rebuild it utilizing different items. So that it's probably in our best interest to put up a pasture as soon as possible, but then later on, if we find better materials that will make a more valuable pasture, we could do that. It looks, however, like right now that we cannot do any of this. Well, actually we could. We could use cheap wood, cheap food, and our iron, which will attract humans, which kind of suck, but you know, it's the only thing we can do right now, right? I mean, we don't have enough clay to be the primary material. We don't have enough elven wood. We don't have enough gold. And the only kind of food we have is vegetables. So right now, this is really a good deal for us. It would also add food. Again, the attractiveness to humans would be something that would help our village quite a bit. And it just so happens that we have Nazoth, who is really good at building things. So let's get that pasture going. You know what, actually, I was going to say we can have people help him, but I'd rather send out an away team to do other things and just wait a little bit longer for the pasture. So, alright. And we're continuing to gather the basic things that we can gather. And someone told me there was a way here to save this expedition. I'm not seeing a button or anything. But, Carl's on the team because he's our best gatherer. Then we have Lion, of course. And I think, did we leave Matthews behind last time? So we'll bring Matthews with us this time. we will leave... You know, Amara, as far as warriors go, Amara is just not that great. She's got 10 armor, but Callie has 25 armor, 15 damage. Amara is 20. So Amara's a DPS. We want her kind of... Yeah, we want her in the away team. Hannah's got good armor, not so great damage. Connor, I think, is naked, if I'm correct. Yes, he is. So that'd be kind of spooky. We'll leave Connor. Connor will guard the village along with... Wait, how is Connor level 3 already? He's brand new. Oh, whatever. Kalia and Connor. Hannah will come with the away team. And, okay. So we have Rowain, Jeremias, and Arcanus, our main gatherers. Alright. I like it. And hopefully maybe we'll find some armor for Connor. That's possible. Okay. And we have 23 scaled leather, so we can actually get to start working on that soon. And I was told to cook some meals too, which I will definitely do, but obviously not now, because we don't have time. Now, food disappears a lot more quickly than... You know, let's give our bird meat and our fish. Food disappears a lot more... Oh, we have seaweed too? Alright, let's put 25 of it. And actually, let's get rid of some of the vegetables. And let's save a bit of the fish. Alright, so we have a nice cross-section of food here, which means our away team will have many strength and other bonuses. Do we have any armor and weapons that have not been doled out? We do not. Alright. Well, whatever. No fuel. Come on, Marcus. You're better than this. Just talking about fuel, too, where you don't need that much of it. So let's give them 30. Alright. Excellent. So our expedition has been created. And we're actually going to head to the west this time. So we could be the westward hose. Hose? No, hose. Hoss. Westward Hoss. Okay. But we cannot move. That's okay. Alright, let's go take out this small hive. That'll be useful. Meanwhile, back in Aurelia, I just want to see how things are going with our construction. We're doing pretty well. Alright, Arcanus, you know what? We're going to have you start... basically cooking, I guess. Cooking's what we want to do. So, production. Oh, we can't cook? We should be able to. Yeah, vegetables. Seaweed. And wood. Why would it tell us that... And that's cooked greens. There's many different types of food items that you can create, but of course you need all of these materials to get started with. I could... Well, if I did the herbs, though, it would only... No, I want to save the herbs for medicine until we find a more stable source. Just for fun, though, let's see what they do. Nothing. Nothing at all. They do increase the weight. Or not... No, this is... Wait, what is this? So they... The herbs increase the amount of required production that you need, but otherwise don't affect the recipe at all. So, alright, cooked greens it is. And Arcanas, you can do that. And that's pretty much the only food item that we can create at this time. But it will give us experience, which we can then use for research, which we can then use to unlock other items for us to explore. So, all right. Okay, we have to wait a turn. Man, these foul creatures are just coming out of the woodwork here. Alright, what do we got here? Beasts. Villagers are idle. Who's idle? Arcanus? I thought he was sent to Infinite. Alright, I'm so confused. I thought that he would just do this forever. Until I stopped him. Confirm. Oh, there's the Infinite. Okay. There we go. Alright, good. So, Arcanas, just keep cooking the greens, man. Meanwhile, Nazoth is producing our pasture. And we have actually successfully created greens. That's great. Wonderful. Let's check out the hive. A blood bee. Okay, I hate those blood bees. And 4 crazed bees. Let's see what happens. Reshuffle. Oh, lion. Why cannot you be in the attack hand? At least Carl's here, so he can counter tactic. Which is the first thing we're going to do. The blood bee is the one I need to be worried about. He is terrible. We can confuse him. No, we can't. We can only confuse the crazed bee. Alright, who can take the biggest licking? Hannah C. And her shielding will help her quite a bit as well. And then we can... You know, we could shield her for 12. Or we could get rid of this bee. And then shield her for 6. Is it worth it? Is it worth using... Is it worth using Lion to get rid of the crazed bee? It only does 2 attack, compared to this guy's 9 plus 2 or 11. But both of them will be able to attack Hannah before she's even able to move. So yes, we are going to confuse the bee. Oh, we will next turn, I guess. Or we'll confuse this bee, at any rate. Okay, and what's the plan here? Alright. Well, let's shield up Hannah, because she's going to take the brunt of the attack. And then we'll have Amara, our DPS, come in there and do what she do. And then we'll have Matthews, our DPS number 2. Hannah might not come out of this one in good shape. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, well, she's doing okay. But the blood bee, yeah, oof. Alright, well, we were victorious. Although Hannah was wounded pretty severely, we did gain a ruby. So let's... Is there anything good around here? Well, there's mushrooms and string. Alright, let's camp out to heal her. Carl, pick up some mushrooms. Matthews, Artanis, pick up string. Actually, all of you pick up string. Alright. An unexpected visitor, Theodore, arrives at your village. Your food stocks have grown. Your people are learning how to live in the awakened Thea once more. But the darkness is not gone, always looming in the shadows, lurking behind corners. It is time to try and find clues as to what happened and how to repair it. Okay. Ah, that's the spirit. I knew we could count on you. I must warn you, others have tried and failed before you, so the road will not be easy. Do you know anything more about what happened to the cosmic tree, or why the darkness came? I know some, but I do not hold the answers you need to seek. I knew that once Thea was a land ruled by high magic, a land where demons were kept in check by the peoples and by the cosmic balance, upheld by the gods. The pillars of Thea stood sturdy and held our world together. Now the barriers between the lands of the living and those of the dead are torn asunder, and thus darkness holds a tight grip on us. Without your aid, whatever made the sun return may not hold for long, and the age of darkness may descend upon us once again. Alright, fine. So how do we find out what to do? There have been those who sought to undo this curse, those who were charged with the guardianship of Thea's pillars and who have failed us. Some were the ancient peoples you call elves. Some were avatars of your gods, and some just people who proved worthy. And yet they all failed thus far. Here on this map, I marked a spot where one such guardian may hold the answers for you. Without giving you a chance to say anything more, Theodore disappears, leaving you with a map. Alright, some exposition. Yes, wonderful. You made your first batch of prepared food. No longer are you a mere scavenger. Now you can cook. Crafted foods are more efficient than the raw stuff, so you may want to take them when you're out exploring, as they are lighter to carry. So now I have a harder task for you. Build me a building in your village. Any building will do. Well, if you come back tomorrow, we might have one, actually. And we gain some scaled leather. Oh, yeah. And some gold. Oh, yeah. All right. We are doing quite well. Let's see what happened here. Carl gained some strength. Not that useful for him, but whatever. Matthews gained some health. Amara gained a bunch of tactics. Hannah gained some health, which is probably good since she got pretty beat up. Lion gained a ton of health. And Artanis has become slightly better at gathering. Back at home, Arcanus has gained some stealth, which is completely useless for him. I guess he can craft stealthily. Kalia gained tactics. Nazoth gained a sixth sense, but not only a little bit of it, but quite a bit of it. Connor Platt gained some ranged damage, which I like the sound of. Rowan gained some health, and Jeremiah's gained some crafting ability. Okay, so we have a backup crafter. What else? What else? Villages are idle. Oh, Nazoth! Nazoth has completed the pasture. Okay. There it is. So now we should be getting more humans, apparently. Where does it tell us that we have it? In the inventory, perhaps? Village overview? Ah, yes, pasture. Okay, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And so, you know what I'd like? What would be kind of neat is if building buildings would increase your sphere of influence so that I could start gathering string from the village directly, maybe mushrooms. I mean, it doesn't have to go out super far, but just a little bit since you can't build secondary villages. That would be kind of neat. All right. So Nazoth, we need something for you to do. Let's see. We could build a gold... A flashy scepter. Damage 3, which is blunt, and it improves will. What if we use steel? Damage is 3. Oh, so the will bonus drops. Or not steel, iron, I should say. Alright, well, let's build it. We can give it to somebody when they come back to the village. And, or Elvenwood. What would that do? That would be a Morning Star, which gives us dexterity and will, but only 2 damage, whereas the gold gave us 3. We don't have enough bones to make that work, although we could use leather instead of gold. That just lowers the damage, though, or scaled leather, which is no better than regular leather in this instance, so that's kind of stupid. So our choice is 3 damage and 2 will, or 2 damage, but an addition of dexterity. I think we're going to save our Elvenwood and just make this thing straight up out of gold. and get the most amount of damage. That seems like the smart move to make. What would regular wood give us? A club. 2 damage, but also 1 will. So we'd lose a point of damage, but we'd save 3 gold. That would only give us 1 damage. Nope, I'm going to go with what I originally wanted. I'm going to go with the super gold, high damage, flashy scepter. Excellent. Alright. The westward hoes are going to continue to gather.
Well done. You have your very first buildings. As you can see, it takes many resources to build a decent abode. Or perhaps your god gifted you, in which case you cheated. Remember, the better the minerals you use, the better the bonuses from your buildings. You have a limit of 10 buildings, but you can demolish the old ones to make way for new. One of the ways to win over the darkness is for you to research more recipes, grow your population, and build more houses. So get going.
Alright, I hope you were able to hear that. He is kind of quiet. We got more gold, though, to make up for the gold we lost, and we also gained some nimble wood. Thanks, Theodore. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, not a lot happened in this episode in terms of exploration, but we did build a pasture. We were able to cook some food, so Theodore gifted us quite a bit of gold and some other items. We are building a mace of a certain type, a flashy scepter, and maybe we'll also make some basic armor for our guys too. That would be kind of useful. If we make armor out of scaled leather, it actually improves the strength of your guys, so that's quite useful as well. So once again, I am Marcus Aurelius. Thank you for joining me on this adventure in the lands of Thea, the Awakening. Have a good one.